broken ribs. And the timing couldn't be any better with the Sunday matchup on tap against the Chiefs. Here's his head coach, Sean Payton, on Brees's return.
He's looked good. He feels good. And we were encouraged at the start of the week. We wanted to see how it felt, as he went through a full practice week, and he's done a good job. We wouldn't be playing him if he wasn't healthy and able to function and feeling good and recovered. So our plan is to play him. Our plan is to start him. And we have a number of personnel groupings to give us some flexibility, and we'll go from there.
The return of Brees should provide a significant boost for New Orleans' offense. The Saints have averaged 6 more points per game and over 60 more passing yards per game and have a much better offensive efficiency when playing with Drew Brees as compared to starting Taysom Hill. And New Orleans will likely need their offense to be clicking if they hope to keep pace with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs' high-powered offense on Sunday. Let's get it going to our panelists. And Marcus, you concerned at all about Drew Brees starting this huge potential Super Bowl preview matchup?
Phil, sometimes people start off a phrase with, you want the good news or the bad news, okay? And I'm going to give you both scenarios, all right? I'm happy that Drew Brees is back. He obviously gives the New Orleans Saints the best chance to win this football game and operate offensively the way that they want to. But I'm also scared as hell. I'm nervous for Drew. And one of the main reasons is because Chris Jones is in the middle of this defensive line, y'all. We saw the hit that transpired to put Drew in the situation that he was in. And now we're talking about putting him up against one of the most dominant interior defensive linemen, pass rushers in the NFL. Look, Drew has always navigated the pocket really well. Defensive ends have never really got great shots on him throughout his career, but it's that interior pressure, and I'm nervous about it. And then you think about this. What are you leveraging, right? I took some money classes when I was growing up. I got a little money in the NFL. They say, what are you leveraging, all right? What are you spending? What are you leveraging when you make this investment? This is an investment to not only get a shot at Drew Brees playing against the Kansas City Chiefs and seeing what they may do. So maybe down the road, if we see this matchup again, you'll have an idea. But it is also saying to his team, to Sean Payton is saying to his team, I'm going to do everything for us to win every single game we play in, and I have to respect it. So I'm happy. I'm excited. Football fans should be excited and ecstatic, but I'm scared and I'm nervous. All right? That's it.
All of the emotions, all of them. I'm cautiously optimistic. Don't get me wrong, I'm nervous, Marcus, too. I think a lot of us didn't know how many ribs were in the human body until that Drew Brees injury, right? Anyone who said they knew it was 24 was lying. 11 on one side. But two things calm my nerves. One, yes, Chris Jones is terrifying, but the Saints' offensive line is very good, and they are better than we saw last week. Frankly, Taysom Hill made them look worse than they are by holding on to the ball as long as he does. Drew Brees is that offensive line's best friend. You know who else is his best friend? Alvin Kamara. And I'll tell you, he is glad Drew Brees is back because in his absence, he was averaging under 13 receiving yards per game. Now, fans at home, when they watch this Saints offense, they think, oh, it's so easy to stop. Drew Brees can't throw deep. All you got to do is stop Alvin Kamara. But what they don't appreciate is how well Drew Brees throws those little short passes and screens and slants, how he leads Alvin Kamara into getting yards after the catch. You're going to see a lot of that to alleviate some of that Kansas City pressure on Sunday.
Man, listen, y'all know how Drew Brees is hopping out of the trunk for the game against the Kansas City Chiefs. You know what he's saying. He walking in there talking about where the money reside, where the money reside, where the money reside, where the money reside. Because Drew Brees is the money guy for the Saints. There's no decision to be made. If he's ready to play, Drew Brees plays. If he's healthy, Drew Brees goes out there and gives this team the best chance to win. On the other side of the field is Patrick Mahomes. One of the best to ever do it. And so if Drew Brees is saying he's ready, if Drew Brees could feel protected, you put him out there. Because the one thing I know about Drew, if you've ever watched the stripe of his helmet when he's going through his progression, that junk happens like that. It's here, it's here, it's here. He gets the football out of his hands. He's going to get pressure up front. We saw the Kansas City Chiefs working a lot of tackle-in stunts against the Miami Dolphins to get into Tua Tagovailoa's face. That's what we'll see this week. Drew Brees has to understand. Go through your reads, get the football out of your hands, let your playmakers make the plays. And then in the end, when you need to make a play, because the Kansas City Chiefs certainly will on offense, that's why you're out here. They know they can't do it with Taysom Hill, and they also know they don't want to send themselves to Lambeau Field to try to win the playoff game. This game is important. Drew understands that, and he's ready to go. You have to coach the game and call the game accordingly.
Well, Marcus, you began your answer with some good news, bad news. The good news is that Drew Brees is playing. The bad news, and I'm about to put a surprise on each one of you, Michael Thomas is out. He has been ruled out of this game due to an ankle injury. Breaking news into NFL Live right now. And we know he's been managing an ankle injury and a hamstring injury throughout the year. Of course, missed the game early in the season due to team suspension. So, Swagoo, it was going to be a difficult challenge to beat the Chiefs, even with Drew Brees back under center. You multiply the Chiefs as a team with no Michael Thomas, and each of your faces sort of said all right now. How much, and sort of a dumb question, but important one, how much does this impact the Saints on Sunday?
Phil, this right here. Dang it, man. What are we doing? I legit had in my notes, him and Michael Thomas are going to be able to work on their rapport together. They have not played together for the majority of this season. And now you break this damn news while we on the show. Man, this is horrible. Listen, this is one of the best receivers in the game, and I know a lot of people forget because he's dealt with these injuries. He was Taysom's number one target. He's the only reason Taysom Hill, outside of Emmanuel Sanders, throws down the field. But, man, this is devastating, especially playing against the weapons that he's going to be facing on the other side.
It's bad, but it's not devastating because we saw this offense without Michael Thomas with Drew Brees. Now, let me say this. If it was Taysom Hill in there, I might not even watch the game, to be honest, because it would be over. But Drew Brees was able, I obviously would still watch the game. But Drew Brees was able to get Emmanuel Sanders involved downfield in a way that Taysom Hill simply was not. Drew Brees will be able to get Traquan Smith involved, and of course Alvin Kamara, as I discussed earlier. So it's not as big of a deal breaker as it would be if it was Taysom Hill.
I mean, what makes this not as big of a deal breaker is we've seen, like Mina said, Drew Brees operate this offense without Michael Thomas. Now, you certainly would want him out on the field. He's one of those guys that feels like a sure catch as long as you put the ball within his catch radius. And we've seen that so much from Michael Thomas, understanding route running, understanding how to use his body, also playing against a defense that is susceptible on the outside. And so I think it's a huge loss. But we know Drew Brees understands this. And Mina said it from the beginning about the reasons Alvin Kamara will be excited that Drew Brees is back. This is just another piece of that. When Alvin Kamara was playing extremely well, when he was a huge part of that pass game, it was because Michael Thomas wasn't available, because Michael Thomas was nursing some of those injuries. And so I look for Alvin Kamara to step up and be more a part of this offense. Also, think about Taysom Hill getting an opportunity to move back into the spot he's good at, being the utility guy, coming in and doing some different things. Maybe that package can expand a little bit from a passing standpoint. And so not having Michael Thomas doesn't take this team out because you add Drew Brees. But like Mina said, if Drew Brees wasn't quarterbacking and it was Taysom Hill and Michael Thomas was out, this would probably look like the Denver Broncos a few weeks ago when they had the COVID scare in the quarterback room. It would be unwatchable. Drew Brees still makes this compelling.
And one more thing, too, y'all, because that's great points by you and Mina, and obviously with Kamara operating in this offense. And remember this, too. In these big games that we've seen, and it doesn't get talked about a lot, but Drew loves this guy, Jared Cook, the tight end. He's come up, he's been a big part of what they've done in big games. So look for him to have more opportunities as well down the field with Michael Thomas missing, especially on those third down conversions that you need so much against this Kansas City Chiefs defense.
As we've been saying all year, let Jared Cook. A huge game, though, with massive breaking news here into NFL Live.
I don't
We'll
know
have
if
more
he
on
said
Michael
that.
Thomas's
I don't know if he said that,
absence.
Phil.
I was waiting for it. His absence all throughout the show. Because we're just getting rolling here on NFL Live. Justin Herbert escaped with a massive win in Vegas last night. But hear why someone here thinks his true potential is being wasted with this Chargers coaching staff.